Hi there, my name is Bandy and this is my channel Bandy's Books. Today we're back with another 5-minute book review, and I'm really digging the 5-minute book review format so far. I feel like this is like the perfect little bit of time to just really explain a book, why I like it, why I dislike it, kind of keep it simple and not overwhelming and getting into like all the technical aspects of it. So if you're enjoying this format so far, let me know with a thumbs up and a comment in the comment section. I really love to hear feedback. It makes my day when somebody stops to tell me if something's working, or even if they stop to tell me something's not working, so I know what they're. This particular book is a book that I read in November, and I want to say I read it like mid-month or so. And it was my first experience with this author. This author is a very popular author. I see her books quite frequently in social media, and I've heard really good things about her writing, so I was excited to try this out. I had seen lots of pictures of this particular book because you'll see in a second it has a really, really gorgeous cover. Well, actually, you'll see right now. So the book is The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, and like I said, I was seeing a lot of pictures of this on Bookstagram because of the beautiful cover. It's very stark black with this like reflective gold. You can see wheat fields and dust, and like the titling, everything is just really, really pretty, and it photographs really well. So I was seeing this pop up quite a bit, and I decided to go ahead and give it a try when I found a copy of it at a local used bookstore. This book, for me, like I said, was my first dip into Kristen Hanna's world. I didn't have any expectation of her writing going in. I didn't know much about her as an author, what kind of books she wrote. I just kind of let myself go in blind, and I'm glad I did. I really enjoyed this book. I think, so well, let me first tell you about what it's about. I'm getting ahead of myself. This book features a character named Elsa, and at the beginning of the story, we're led to believe that Elsa is really unattractive and awkward. Her family is like constantly telling her she's never going to get married, that she's worthless, she's a burden on the family. And she at some point rebels and decides to like visit clubs. She starts kind of seeing this guy, and she ends up getting pregnant. And it's pretty controversial because he's engaged to someone else, and her family's horrified, and his family's horrified. And because of the times, like the 20s and the 30s, they basically just, her family just drops her off on this guy's family's porch step and says, she's your problem now. And his parents are kind of left to pick up the pieces. They settle her into the farm. So Elsa is coming from like a pretty well-to-do family. She's pretty pampered. She's never really had to work hard in her life. And the guy that she gets pregnant by is like from a farm, and he's used to like hard labor and work. And so she gets dropped off on this farm, and the family is like, we'll take you in and we're going to support you and love our grandchild, but you're going to have to work here. And she actually thrives. She learns how to do all the things on the farm, and she finds that for the first time in her life, she feels useful, and she feels like the family cares about her. And then when the baby's born especially, she really starts to bond with the family. And for quite a while, we just get to see the life on the farm, her day-to-day, her struggles with her husband and her children, and, you know, finding her place in life. And then the Dust Bowl hits. They're in Texas, and the Dust Bowl hits, and the Great Depression hits, and it's just all downhill from there. I can't really tell you too much about it without giving away like the main plot of the story, but Elsa is forced to basically make some really, really difficult decisions, as were many families during the Great Depression. And it's bleak. This is not a happy book for sure. So let me talk about what I liked first of all. I really liked the characterization. I thought Elsa was a really, really strong character. I appreciated that nobody really was able to beat her down. Like, she does seem beaten down in the beginning of the story. She's kind of like a whipped dog, but she still has some bite in her, and she rebels against her parents. She goes out and dates. She goes to nightclubs. I mean, she does things that she's not supposed to do because she's not attractive and she's not like a posh socialite. And then when she's thrust into this farm environment, she doesn't just sit there and like, oh, I'm from a rich family, I can't do this. She like pulls herself up by her bootstraps and gets to work. I really admire that. I really like that about her. I found her to be a very compelling main character. Her mother-in-law is also a really strong character. So I guess I should say that all the supporting characters were really strong characters. In particular, I really liked her mother-in-law. I found her mother-in-law very believable, you know, at times cold, at other times warm, but I really liked her character. And her daughter I found really compelling as well. She's very fiery and opinionated and strong, where her mother tends to like step back and kind of observe things a bit. Her daughter is a little more impulsive, which I feel is very fitting to her age within the story. And a lot of the characters that like pop up in different parts of the story, friends that she makes, people that she interacts with, they all seem very compelling. Even if they're in the story for a short period of time, they feel like really real, well fleshed out people, which really brings the story to life. I thought that the plot was very good. I thought that it moved along pretty nicely. It drags a little bit in the beginning, like kind of as you're getting an idea of who Elsa is and what's going on in her life. It can be a little bit slow initially, but definitely once it picks up, it stays up. Like there's consistent action and consistent conflict throughout. I do think that the messaging is very relevant as well. This covers some political topics that were both relevant back during the Great Depression and are actually becoming currently relevant again. Here in the States, we're having some labor shortages, and because of labor shortages, I think as a society we're being forced to evaluate what the value of labor is. Like, do people deserve benefits and good pay for what people would consider a basic job? I'm personally not really sure why this is a discussion, but it is apparently like a very relevant topic, and this book deals with that theme quite a lot. There's some other themes in here: immigration, kind of xenophobia. It's not like nationalism, it's more like statism, if that's even a thing. But it's really interesting how this book delves into those themes and how those themes kind of parallel certain things that are occurring in modern times. So I really liked all of that. I also felt that this elicited a pretty strong emotional response from me, which is important in books. If I don't feel something from the book, then, you know, I don't know. Things that I didn't love. I felt like really my only problem with this book is that the ending was a little rushed. All of the things that occur to Elsa throughout the story are really like spread out and explored in depth. And then kind of towards the end, I feel like there's some changes that happen that feel very quick. I wish that, I mean, I understand the events that led up to this change, but I wish that, I guess, the mental state of Elsa had been explored a little bit more, instead of just showing us the event, but like also kind of showing us how that change is slowly occurring within her. And then, I don't know, I feel like the closure of the story was just a little short, a little rushed. I could have used just a little bit more. I mean, we spent so much time through the story getting to this point, and then I felt like it was closed up really quickly. But all in all, I thought it was really good. It is, like I said, kind of a depressing read, so I would recommend that if you read this, you go into it knowing that it's depressing, and like read it when you're in the right headspace for it. If you're stressed out at work, having a tough time, feeling kind of depressed, I don't know if this is the right book to pick up, unless like it helps you get the negative emotions out and as like a cathartic thing. But if it's gonna make you feel worse, definitely wait to like a happier place where you feel a little more capable of dealing with it, because it does get very dark. But it's a really good read. I did rate it 4 stars. For me, that is, you know, a very high rating, means that the book was really, really good. There's a few minor things that I might have tweaked here and there, but all in all, it's a book that, because I have a beautiful hardcover copy, I'm gonna keep on my bookshelves. So I really enjoyed this. I would love to hear in the comments what you thought about it, if you've read it, or if you haven't read it, if you think you'll read it. And I have a further question. I've now read 2 Kristen Hanna books. I should say I read this one and then I listened to The Great Alone on audiobook, and that one was horribly depressing as well. So I'm just curious, like, if you've read any other Kristen Hanna books, are they all depressing? Like, should I know this going into every single Kristen Hanna book that it's gonna be like wildly depressing? So that way I can kind of, you know, pick the right moments. Let me know if you've read her books and which ones are, you know, the more depressing ones. And if you want to see other 5-minute book reviews, look up here somewhere. There will be a link that pops up and it'll take you to my other previous reviews. Other than that, if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I do post really regular book content, and I would love to see you in other videos. So again, I'm Caitlin Bandy. This is my channel, Bandy's Books. We'll see you in the next one.